Thank you, parents, for joining us this evening. CAP students that are in the room, if you want to stay, you are welcome to. If you don't want to stay and you'd like to leave, that's okay too, because we're going to cover a lot of the information that we just went over. So it's up to you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're excited to have you here tonight. My name is Christine DiPilato. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Secondary Instruction here in Troy. And many of these slides are slides that we went over with your students earlier tonight. We had a wonderful last hour and a half with them, some laughing, some awkwardness of trying to work through learning how to handshake and introduce yourself, all of those important things to learn as you get ready to launch into the business world. Over the next few slides, we're going to talk a little bit about the Career Acceleration Program, and then we'll have an opportunity to answer questions before we leave tonight. One of the key pieces I think that's important, I want to make sure that our team slide is probably placed differently in here. It's next. It was different for the kids, so excuse me. We want to talk a little bit about the Troy School District's commitment to our business partnerships. So over the course of the last 4 years, really post-COVID, we've moved back to building a much more connected relationship with our business partnerships across the city of Troy. Dr. Macheski, working in partnership with actually a man by the name of Doug Tietz, who's going to be, his image shows up on the next slide, have worked together to bring two groups that help to provide feedback and build that community partnership in Troy. It's our Business Roundtable and our Business Council. So our Business Roundtable and our Business Council, each one serves different roles. One works as an advisory board of some business leaders throughout the city of Troy who provide us with feedback on how our students, the skills that our students might need to have to be successful in the business world, strengths that they're seeing in the workforce, areas where they would like to see us invest more as students move through our schools. And then our other business group comes together to talk about connections with our students and our schools. So through the process of these two groups, which meet quarterly, we were able to design the Career Acceleration Program. So that program has really taken place to provide our students with a pre-internship 20 hours. Behind me on this slide are the key team members of the Career Acceleration Program. So Kendra Montanti is with me on stage. Kendra is our Director of Communications and Strategic Initiatives. She serves a lot of different roles here in the Troy School District. She might be most famously known as the voice of the snow day in Troy. We did tell the kids that tomorrow there will be school. So I think it made all the parents smile, and we had a big sigh in the room when we told all the students. Doug Tietz, who I just talked about briefly a moment ago, is also pictured up there. He is one of our partners in building the relationships with the businesses and industry throughout the community, so he acts as that liaison for us. And then Mr. Mike Monaco, who's right over here. Mr. Monaco is our coordinator for career technical education and college readiness. He will play a very active role with your students as we move through this process as well. So the four of us work together on that Career Accelerator program, as well as Dr. Macheski. Dr. Macheski is out of state at a conference right now, otherwise he would be here welcoming you tonight. So I offer welcoming on his behalf. You can see on this image, this is the evolution of the CAP program, and we're actually quite proud of it. The CAP program launched in 2024, and it launched as an idea that came from our Business Roundtable and our Business Council as an opportunity for businesses to have students come and work in their workspace. At that time, we had 17 brave businesses who said they would be willing to take a high school student into their environment and invest in them. And when we had those 17 businesses, we knew that we could seat about 28 students in there. So we were limited by the number of business partners we had for the number of students. So that first cohort, we served 28 students. And we had a phenomenal experience. Those business partners came back. They gave us really great feedback on things that worked and things that they'd like us to try and adapt. So we changed the program a little for its second year, and then we asked those business partners who had those great experiences, we said, please go out and tell a friend, because we can't place more kids unless we have more partners. So you can see in that second year, our business partners grew to 34, and last year we had 72 students who we placed in those 34 businesses. And those students and those business partners, again, had really great experiences and came back and shared with us some opportunities to tweak the program. One of the key areas of change that exists for this cohort is we've shifted the timeline of the pre-internship hours from for your students, we're asking them to complete all of their pre-internship hours between mid-March and the end of June. Previously, it had been all during the school year. And our students, many of our students are so incredibly busy in the spring that they did not have a lot of time to be able to complete those pre-internship hours. Now we've introduced the option for students to be able to complete those pre-internship hours in June. And this year, the lucky students in Troy are done with school on June 3rd. And so they have that month of June where they have a lot more flexibility to be able to complete that work. So that's one piece of feedback that we got from the businesses, and we wanted to make sure happened. The other piece of feedback that we got was to really focus our program on juniors. So the first 2 years of the program, we had a mix of juniors and seniors. For those of you who have had a senior in your house, sometimes in the spring, the seniors aren't the most attentive to what's going on in school. So we really focused on moving this to our juniors, who we knew would have a whole nother year of schooling ahead of them and would have this opportunity to be able to grow from. And our hope is that for some of the students who go through this process, they may be able to build themselves into an actual internship with those companies if their pre-internship hours go well. What you see on the screen behind me is a list of many of the business partnerships and local leaders. These are the places where your child might be placed for their pre-internship hours. This second slide captures even more of them. These are folks who have spent time working with us and have voiced an interest in being deeper partners, and we're very excited for that opportunity for your students. We'll talk a little bit more about what the structure of the program looks like, but in March, your students are going to have what we call a match day. And that match day is very similar to, we designed it kind of after like a college signing day for athletes, where kids get to sign and say, this is where I'm going to go. That match day is where you meet your business partner. We host it in the Troy High Media Center. You have an opportunity to spend a day, not a whole day, but a couple hours sitting together, talking about what's to come. It's a very exciting time for both the business and the student. And these are the folks that are going to be represented during that time. We thought it would be helpful for you to see a video of some experiences.
The Troy School District is proud to introduce the Career Accelerator program. This groundbreaking initiative for high school juniors and seniors seamlessly connects academic learning with real-world professional experiences. Tailored for excellence, this program aims to bridge the gap between education and the dynamic demands of the workplace.
I'm a student intern at T&I Credit Union. I kind of get to shadow all these different positions, all these leadership positions. I've seen the CFO. I was interested in this program to start with because being able to learn how to be in a professional setting, I think, has been really important.
This internship has allowed me to understand my strengths and what qualities I can bring into a work environment.
I think the really beneficial part was really just how open they were about answering questions for us and more so teaching us.
I've been able to learn a lot more about aspects of businesses that I would have never even begun to think about.
Before this, I didn't know anything about construction. I didn't know anything about I didn't know blueprints. I didn't know how much detail went into all this.
We've tried to expose them to a little bit of everything, from coming to the office and learning about the paperwork and the documentation, and then going out to the actual job site and seeing that in action with the contractors.
It made me learn to have an open mind, to want to learn new things, to experience new things, because they implant something in you that might help you in different ways or in different perspectives of what you plan on doing in the future.
I'll tell you, we were really impressed. They did an excellent job. You could tell they really were engaged through the whole process of this internship. They listened to what we taught them.
They blew me away. Seriously, they're some of the brightest kids that I've ever had the chance of working with. They impressed me a lot more than some of the college kids even.
It really brightened the office. Having her here was a lot of fun. She had smiles, she was eager. She was genuinely enthusiastic about being here and about the credit union, and it kind of inspired all of us.
It was a surprise to myself and Kristen when we heard our staff going, wow, this is fantastic. We'd love to have her here. And by the end of it, we have staff members arguing if who can get to have her come back and stay with them a little longer.
I was extremely nervous because I didn't know what they were expecting either. They are very warm, they're very nice, they're very exceptional, and they know that you're here to learn. They know they don't expect you to come in and be perfect.
We talked a lot about like professionalism and what to do if you make mistakes and how to handle those types of situations, but I think the people were really accepting of everything that kind of came up, and they were really understanding, and I thought that was like kind of surprised me.
I definitely expected people in like office spaces to be a little meaner, maybe a little grouchier, but they've been really, really nice.
It's kind of like something that I look forward to being in. Hopefully when I pursue my career, the office is gorgeous, the people are friendly, it's just an amazing environment.
You would be surprised on what you might learn from them. Everyone has different perspectives. And we don't want to be too insular in anything that we do in business. I think getting new ideas, getting thoughts, bouncing things off of hearing the questions that might be a question that you didn't even think of that somebody might have. So it wasn't like any big commitment for the business at all, but really fulfilling, and everyone enjoyed it here at Tryon.
I 100% would recommend this to another business, in addition to just the ability to give back to younger generations, to students that are going to be up and coming, and being able to kind of give them the tools to be successful. It's been incredible on our end as well. We've been able to learn so much just from her. It's been a huge morale boost just for our office in general. Everyone's excited, everyone wants to know when the student's coming back.
I mean, our future's here. These are the next generation of students that we're going to be hiring and looking for talent, and being able to provide that mentorship and guidance and build that relationship goes such a long way. It's something that they're able to take back with them, and we learn so much from them too. It's really such a great relationship to have.
And it's never too early to start, so I think that's what really accelerated us to be a part of this program and really give back to the community.
Learning about what they do as a company is really helping shape my opinion on the future and exactly what I want to do, and it's pushing me forward to go into the world of finance because I enjoy what's going on so far.
From a perspective of only being out of high school for a little more than a decade now, this is something I would have killed to have had back then, because the experiences you're going to get from a program such as this really do carry over into not just work, but also when you go to college, when you go to a trade program, whatever it might be after your completion of high school, all that starts to transfer over. And it's kind of a nice little head start, and we can kind of take those lessons we had to learn hard ways and pass them on.
I have mentioned it to peers, told them that what we were doing here at the credit union, and they're really interested. So I'm hoping that we can, grow this program too.
That real life experience is so helpful, just to help broaden perspectives. That'll serve them well as they go forward in life, both in school and in whatever else they end up doing in their careers.
It's a wonderful video from many of our students in our first year of CAP, and from some of our businesses in CAP. You'll see on the next couple slides, we're going to talk a little bit about school district expectations, business host expectations, student expectations, and parental expectations. So school district, right, you can see we expect that the students attend all classes. We did tell the students that if you do not attend all of the classes, you will not be placed with a business. So we understand that there may be extenuating circumstances, and if a student misses a class, we can figure something out. But our goal is to have the students there for the 4 classes. Attend the capstone reception at the very end of the CAP program. The capstone reception serves as a way that we can congratulate your children on all of their hard work and their learning, and it's a moment for the parents. We invite the parents and the students and the business partners in for you to mingle and get to know some of the business partners and who your children have been spending time with. So it's a wonderful opportunity for our families. We ask that they come with a positive attitude and curiosity, right? So students may not get placed in a specific area that they're interested in, and we tell them, that's okay. We want you to come in curious. We want you to come and learn and wanting to learn. You can learn something from every experience that you have, and that's the goal of this program. The business expects professionalism, right? They expect you to complete the hours. We talk to the students about showing up on time and what it means to be on time. So 5 to 10 minutes early is on time, right? So, and that positive attitude and curiosity. Student expectations, right? We talked a little bit about the pre-internship must be based on the business's schedule. One of the things that we recognize, as Ms. DiPilato said earlier, is that your children are very busy. We understand that they're very busy, but we've told them that this has to take priority over other things. We did extend the program into the summer, so capturing those 20 hours should be easier for your students, but keep in mind that these businesses are doing this on a favor for us as a district. They're not getting paid, they're not receiving anything for doing this, they're doing this out of the kindness of their heart, right, to build up our generation of students. So that's one thing. We ask that your students are flexible, and they may have to miss other things to participate. Complete those 20 hours, as we said. Reach out. So when students reach out to the business, we ask that they do that during business hours, right? Businesses don't want to receive messages after 5 p.m. unless it's through email. That's fine, but don't text, don't call after 5 unless it's an emergency. That's one thing. Be on time, which we talked about. Show up prepared. We spoke a lot about that. And parent expectations. One of the biggest things that we had in this past year was that a business and the student were really having a challenging time trying to figure out time for the student to be there. The student said, I can only be there after 6 p.m. every day. Well, most businesses, as we know, run 9 to 5. And so that didn't work for the business. So the student said, Mom, Dad, I'm really having a hard time. Can you reach out to the business? We're trying to teach your children independence. We don't want you to reach out. We want you to encourage them to reach out. They have my cell phone number, my email, Ms. DiPilato's email, Mr. Monaco's email, his cell phone number. They have plenty of people to reach out to if they are in a bind or have a challenge, right? But we want you to encourage them to take ownership of this opportunity and reach out for themselves and try to problem solve themselves. Helping them understand why after 5 p.m., right? We know they're a generation of texting, right? A generation of less phone calls, but more texting, and why that's not appropriate for a business. Another thing is, right, we talked about priority over other commitments already, and support the student through the experience. So have conversation with them about this. What exercises, ask them tonight when you go home, what exercises did you do today, right? We put them through the ringer. We made them uncomfortable on purpose. We explained to them that when you're uncomfortable, you're learning, you're growing, you're expanding your knowledge. So up here, you'll see a variety of class topics, some of the things that we cover over the several class periods that we're with them. So things like, right, a handshake, how important a handshake is, first impressions, how do you handle making a mistake if you make a mistake, networking. The one thing that we talk to them about is that they're brand ambassadors, not only for the Troy School District, but for themselves. So how to present yourself, right? How you dress, how you act, what you say, speaks volumes of who you are. So all those things that no one ever taught us that we all wish someone did. We learned along the way, but it's a wonderful opportunity. You will see all these things that these students learn over the course of these classes are so beneficial for the world of work. We talk a lot about curiosity. So this slide, we actually had this exact same slide with our students tonight, right? That careers are not linear. You could say, hey, I want to become a doctor and that's exactly what I want to do. Well, I'm sure many of you in this audience may have determined that you wanted to do one thing and now you're working in a totally different field, right? And so helping them understand that you will evolve, you will change over time, and that's great, that's growth, that's change, that's adaptation. So teaching them those, we hope that they learn to ask questions of the business. What are appropriate questions, right? So this just gives you an idea of some of the things that we work on with them. Curiosity, here's a couple scenarios that we went through with them today, right? One of the things that we made them do is we talked to them about what a proper greeting is when you meet someone. What you do, you make eye contact, right? what a proper handshake looks like, not too hard and not too limp. And we say, introduce yourself. My name is so-and-so, it's nice to meet you. And we made them stand up, practice it with someone they don't know, right? And of the opposite sex. And they all groaned. They all said, oh. And I said, yeah, see, it's meant to make you uncomfortable, right? That's the whole point. We're gonna make you uncomfortable many times, but that's good. That's good for you. And so by the end of this, we hope that once you get to your business, that you are much more comfortable, right? It's practice. Practice makes perfect, right? So we will move through scenarios during each class. One of the biggest things that we talk to students about is that they don't understand that you're in a place of business that has, right, as you know, you are, many of you, right, work full time, and there are constantly things you are working through and working on that are very important. And so if their students are working with a business partner and the business partner, let's say they take a phone call and they say, I have to go, right? Well, we want the student to recognize that it probably has nothing to do with them. It's probably something that's going on in the business, right? Don't take it personally. You can always ask, is everything okay? Do you need me to help, right? We also talk to them a lot about offering to assist. If the business says, hey, can you do this? You say, yes, sure, right? Always offer to help. How can you be a team player? So we're trying to teach them all of these life skills that will really benefit them into the future. Match day is something we want to talk a little bit about. As Ms. DiPilato said, Match day is a very fun day for our students. It is March 12th, and it's the time when they get to meet their business partner. Our business partners often bring some sort of swag, right? Whether that's a t-shirt or basketballs or something for the students to take pictures with. And it's a dress to impress event, right? Business casual attire. There's a lot of Q&A that will happen between the student and the business. We provide them with scripted questions so that it helps prepare the conversation. They are learning small talk. That will be in the next class that we work with them about what, we talked a little bit about it tonight, what's appropriate small talk and what's not appropriate, right? Like, we're not going to get into things such as religion or politics. That's probably not safe topics to talk about, but things like the weather or things like sports. Oh, can you believe the Lions lost again? Or, right, something that they know the business is interested or something they're interested in. So those soft skills are very important for our students. This year we have 4 learning tracks. So some students will do one-to-one partnerships, so one student with one business. Some will do 2-to-1, 2 students to one business. Some will do 4-to-1, 4 students to one business. And then there will be applications for tracks. We have the government track this year, we launched it last year. So those students actually went and spent time with our Board of Education, asked them why they wanted to be on the Board of Education, had a dialogue with them, met with Ethan Baker, our mayor, and did the same thing, spent quite an afternoon with the mayor and the police department and learned all about city government. And then we spent a day at the Capitol and we met with Senator Weber. We met with Representative McDonald, and the students were able to ask questions of those in government, which is very impressive, right? That doesn't happen very often. So we try to provide lasting impressions for our students and things that they'll learn from. There's an entrepreneurship track that will be 10 students, so it's a variety of different businesses, from very small businesses to very large businesses, and a nonprofit track this year. So those your students will learn more about here in the coming classes, but just so you guys have an idea, we didn't share that with them, so you can share that with them. That's a little insight you have over your students. The CAP calendar, so this is something we told students to either take a picture of, or we told them to take notes on that, right? Attendance is required at all classes, and these are the dates, and these are the locations for classes. All of the classes take place here at Athens in the TAC, and Match Day is the only one that takes place at Troy High. We are in the media center there. It's a little more, it's a better place for us to sit down and have conversation. And then pre-internship is at their business or, through one of the tracks. And then the capstone reception will be at most likely one of our businesses here in Troy. So last year, Signorama hosted us. It was a lovely event, so we'll see which business is willing to host us again this year. Now, we'd like to spend some time answering any questions that you have. We have 2 microphones set up, one here and one here. So feel free, those of you that have questions, feel free to join us and ask us any questions that you might have. We're willing to answer any questions.
We'll give you a minute to think about your questions. As educators, we have good wait time, as you think. But I do want to just say thank you. Thank you for giving your students this opportunity. I know that for many of you, you already have very full calendars and your students have very full schedules. We believe deeply that this is an incredible opportunity. We talked to your students tonight about how it is a unique opportunity for Oakland County. There's not many students who have the opportunity during their junior year to go ahead and work in an industry that they have an interest in. And it wouldn't be possible if we didn't have partnership with incredible families. So thank you for being here tonight and being a part of it, and we're very excited about what's to come for your students. So if there aren't anybody who's brave enough to ask a question up at the microphone, we might have a brave soul who's coming up right now.
Thank you. I just wanted to know, so once they finish their the pre-internship in June, they then have the opportunity to go ahead for the rest of the summer and apply at the same business, or is that what the goal is here?
I think that's a great question. We, in working with our businesses, that is a personal conversation between the business and the student. So this program ends after that 20-hour pre-internship, but our hope is that students will build and network those opportunities for them. For some students, it will be a natural conversation and a natural fit as they move toward the end of those 20 hours. For other students, it won't. And so we encourage all of our students as they move through those 20 hours, if there's a natural part of the conversation as it's coming to a close, it's natural for a student to ask, are there opportunities for me to continue? And I think many of our business partners would be excited to hear that.
There's 2 other things that I want to share also with our families. Actually, a couple things. In previous years, I've had many students come to me personally and say, Mrs. Montanti, thank you so much for this opportunity. This has changed what I'm going to major in college. This has changed what I thought I wanted to do as a career. So these opportunities can be very significant for your students and very impactful, which is what we're looking for, right? We want them to find something that they truly enjoy doing for a living. And that's one piece. The other piece is that we do provide them with a field trip slip. So some businesses may ask your student, we'd like your student to attend this specific event. We feel this is very important. We'd love for you to attend, but it happens during the school day. We have told your students that if that happens and they are able to attend, we'd like them to. You have to have the conversation with your parents. You need to make sure that you're up to date, right, with all your assignments, your tests, your teachers, all those things, but we will give you a permission slip to do that. So just know that that will be one thing that they will receive that you may see. And that's up to you to make that decision as a family, whether that's acceptable for your student or your student is able to do that. Other questions?
How does the match day work, the matching process? How much agency do the kids have?
So your students, when they applied for the program, selected areas that they're interested in. And some of them selected several areas. Some of them only selected a few areas. And so what we do is we take the list of our businesses and a list of our students and their areas of interest, and we try to match them as best we can, right? Our goal is to get every student in an area that they're interested in. So I'm going to take probably the students that only put a few things down and try to match them first, because guess what? They have maybe less interest than some of the other students, right? So that's one piece. And then the application process for some of those tracks also comes into play. Because if they have an interest in a track program, then we will automatically pull them out of the mixing with traditional one-to-one business. Does that make sense?
So students won't know their match until match day. So between now and then, they won't know that answer.
So the question I have is that how does the business join this? Because I have few students, they're coming to my clinic. So, I mean, one came, then two came, and I think this Friday, I think 3 or 4 students, I said, come over, so I don't want to repeat it. So how does the business join this?
Sure. So my information, my name is Kendra Montanti. Reach out to me.
Okay.
I will connect you with Doug Tietz, is who manages all of our business partnerships. He and I sort of joint manage our business partnerships.
Okay.
But we welcome any parents that have a business, know a business owner that would like to be part of this. That's how we've grown this program.
Okay,
right?
I'll contact
so
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. This is an amazing initiative because I think kids need this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi.
So I think at the beginning you said there are about 100 students this year.
Yes.
But the tracks mentioned 10 students each, and there are like 3 to 4 tracks that were on the list. Is everybody that's in the program going to be placed for the pre-internships?
Yes. Everyone will be placed. So 30 students will be part of those different tracks. And then the rest of them will either be a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1-to-4 student.
Got it. And so there were 3 tracks over there, but I think there are a total of 4. So government, entrepreneurship, nonprofit, and what's the 4th?
Just
one?
3.
Okay.
30 students.
30.
10 in each.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry, this is not a generic question, but it's very personal. Like, my daughter is in another club, and she's not going to make it on March 12th because she's going to Grand Rapids. So how does it work? Can parents attend that match day with her preferences?
So have her, and you and I you can reach out to me, right?
Sure.
Take a picture of my email. We'll chat offline, and we
Sure.
can make
Sure.
something
So
work.
I can have her preference and I can come there, right?
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Kendra and I will stay for any additional questions, any personal questions, or any other additional questions, and we just thank you, and please don't hesitate to reach out as questions come along the way. We really enjoyed this evening with your students, and we cannot wait to have them back in just a couple weeks. So thank you. Enjoy your evening.